You have said that passive resistance is a speciality of India. Have cannons never been used in India? Evidently, in your opinion, India means its few princes. To me, it means its teeming millions on whom depends the existence of its princes and our own. Kings will always use their kingly weapons. To use force is bred in them. They want to command, but those who have to obey commands do not want guns, and these are in a majority throughout the world. They have to learn either body force or soul force. Where they learn the former, both the rulers and the ruled become like so many madmen. But where they learn soul force, the commands of the rulers do not go beyond the point of their swords, for true men disregard unjust commands. Peasants have never been subdued by the sword and never will be. They do not know the use of the sword and they are not frightened by use of it by others. The nation is great which rests its head upon death at its pillow. Those who defy death are free from all fear. For those who are laboring under the delusive charms of brute force, this picture is not overdrawn. The fact is that in India, the nation at large has generally used passive resistance in all departments of life. We cease to cooperate with our rulers when they displease us. This is passive resistance. I remember an instance when, in a small principality, the villagers were offended by some command issued by the prince. The former immediately began vacating the village. The prince became nervous, apologized to his subjects, and withdrew his command. Many such instances can be found in India. Real home rule is possible only where passive resistance is the guiding force of the people. Any other rule is foreign rule. Reader, then you will say that it is not at all necessary for us to train the body? Editor, I will certainly not say any such thing. It is difficult to become a passive resistor unless the body is trained. As a ruler, the mind residing in a body that has become weakened by pampering is also weak. And where there is no strength of mind, there can be no strength of soul. We shall have to improve our physique by getting rid of infant marriages and luxurious living. If I were to ask a man with a shattered body to face a cannon's mouth, I should make a laughing stock of myself, reader. From what you say, then, it would appear that it is not a small thing to become a passive resistor, and if that is so, I should like you to explain how a man may become one. Editor, to become a passive resistor is easy enough, but it is also equally difficult. I've had a lad of 14 years become a passive resistor. I have known also sick people do likewise, and I have also known physically strong and otherwise happy people unable to take up passive resistance. After a great deal of experience, it seems to me that those who want to become passive resistors for the service of the country have to observe perfect chastity, adopt poverty, follow truth, and cultivate fearlessness. Chastity Chastity is one of the greatest disciplines without which the mind cannot attain requisite firmness. A man who is unchaste loses stamina, becomes emasculated and cowardly. He whose mind is given over to animal passions is not capable of any effort. This can be proved by innumerable instances. What then is a married person to do is the question that arises naturally, and yet it need not. When a husband and wife gratify the passions, it is no less an animal indulgence on that account. Such an indulgence, except for perpetuating the race, is strictly prohibited, but a passive resistor has to avoid even that very limited indulgence because he can have no desire for progeny. A married man, therefore, can observe perfect chastity. This subject is not capable of being treated at greater length. Several questions arise. How is one to carry one's wife with one? What are her rights, and other similar questions. Yet those who wish to take part in a great work are bound to solve these puzzles. Just as there is necessity for chastity, so is there for poverty. Pecuniary ambition and passive resistance cannot well go together. Those who have money are not expected to throw it away, but they are expected to be indifferent about it. They must be prepared to lose every penny rather than give up passive resistance. Passive resistance has been described in the course of our discussion as truth force. Truth, therefore, has necessarily to be followed, and that at any cost. In this connection, academic questions such as whether a man may not lie in order to save a life, etc., arise. But these questions occur only to those who wish to justify lying. Those who want to follow truth every time are not placed in such a quandary, and if they are still safe from a false position. Passive resistance cannot proceed a step without fearlessness. Those alone can follow the path of passive resistance who are free from fear, whether as to their possessions, false honor, their relatives, the government, bodily injuries, or death. These observances are not to be abandoned in the belief that they are difficult. Nature has implanted in the human breast ability to cope with any difficulty or suffering that may come to man unprovoked. These qualities are worth having, even for those who do not wish to serve the country. Let there be no mistake, as those who want to train themselves in the use of arms are also obliged to have these qualities more or less. Everybody does not become a warrior for the wish. A would be warrior will have to observe chastity and to be satisfied with poverty as its lot. A warrior without fearlessness cannot be conceived of. It may be thought that he would not need to be exactly truthful, but that quality follow real fearlessness. When a man abandons truth, he does so owing to fear in some shape or form. The above four attributes then need not frighten anyone. It may be as well here to note that a physical force man has to have many other useless qualities which a passive resistor never needs. And you will find that whatever extra effort a swordsman needs is due to lack of fearlessness. If he is an embodiment of the latter, the sword will drop from his hand that very moment. He does not need its support. One who is free from hatred requires no sword. A man with a stick suddenly came face to face with a lion and instinctively raised his weapon in self defense. The man saw that he had only prated about fearlessness when there was none in him. That moment he dropped the stick and found himself free from all fear. Education. Reader, in the whole of our discussion, you have not demonstrated the necessity for education. You always complain of its absence among us. We notice a movement for compulsory education in our country. The Maharaja Gaikwar was introduced it in his territories. Every eye is directed towards them. We bless the Maharaja for it. Is all this effort then of no use?